Hi everyone, my name is Nkorom Ezekiel Kingsley and I'm a cybersecurity analyst. And in my session, I'll be talking about cybersecurity awareness for small business owners or cybersecurity best practices for small business owner. Now, what is a small business? A small business is a business that have very limited resources, unlike the bigger businesses that have equipment, resources, workforce, and so many things to control their business operations, unlike small businesses. Okay, but a small business is a business that have very limited resources to do all these things, and many small business these days are looking for the best way to manage and protect customer data and important company assets. So in my talk, I'll be talking about cybersecurity best practices for small business owner. How a small business owner or how a small business can manage security threats, all right, in the organizations. Now, I've summarized everything I want to do here into 6 amazing slides. And I promise you, if you're a small business or a small business owner listening to this talk or listening to my session, you are going to enjoy all of it. And at the end of this talk or session, you would find the best way to go about your small business protection, even with your limited resources. Okay, so let's get straight to the session. Now, what is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity is the practice, okay, in the first slide, cybersecurity is the practice of protecting digital information from theft. Now, what are digital informations? Now, digital informations can be customer data, companies' assets, companies' important assets, and people's very valuable assets. Okay, many or every small business have important documents or important assets, important informations that they must keep private. Okay, and there are a lot of threats, external threats and internal threats, looking to get access to these informations or companies' assets. So cybersecurity is a field that focuses on protecting these assets from external threats, which could be threats from outsiders. Okay, people trying to hack into the systems or people trying to get into your privacy as a small business. Or internal threats are threats from employees working inside the organizations. Yes, there could be many internal threats, and my talk is going to cover all of that. So that's what cybersecurity means. It's just about a small business protecting their assets, okay, from threats. Now, loss from threat, loss, and unauthorized assets. So it means that whatever assets a small business has must be authorized. So it encompasses a range of tools and methods to ensure data privacy and accuracy and accessibility. So as a small business, you need to protect your assets from loss, unauthorized access, and of course, it must be the data must have privacy and accuracy, and of course, accessibility. All right. So this is very important for a small business, and this is what cybersecurity entails. Now let's move over to the second slide, and we'll talk about why security matters for businesses. Security is a very important aspect of any business. In fact, every business needs security, and of course, that's why you find security systems in so many businesses, even in our personal lives. Okay, so let's talk about the first point. Protect sensitive data. Security matters are very important for small businesses because they need to protect sensitive data. A sensitive data is an information that is a very important information that belongs to either your customers or your employees or the company. Okay, now let's take your clients or your customers for an example. A sensitive data can be their date of birth, their card PIN numbers, okay, their medical records and all of that. They're all called PII, which is personal information, okay, and it is called a sensitive data that must not be let out to external threat actors or even some companies for some employees working inside the organization. So why security matters for small businesses? Why is security important for small businesses? They must protect sensitive data, they must prevent financial losses, and they must reduce data breaches or costs. Okay, so let's talk about the first bullet point. The first bullet point talks about protect sensitive data, which means safeguard financial, customer, and intellectual property data from theft and breaches. So a small business values security because they must prevent and safeguard customers and intellectual property from data theft and breaches. Intellectual property, of course, simply means your copyrights, materials, trademark materials, and all of that. Okay. Now, prevent financial losses. Security or cybersecurity is very important to protect your company from financial loss. This is one of the very, very important matters of cybersecurity. Reduce the risk of financial theft and fraud through cybersecurity measures. Now, we can talk about phishing in this aspect. There are a lot of threat actors who wants to gain access into your bank account and, of course, the company's account. And there are even many internal threats from employees working in such organizations or such small business that still want to go rogue and get access, unauthorized access to the company's asset and, of course, steal away money or cause or create financial losses. All right. The last one is called data breach costs. Security technologies minimizes the cost associated with data breaches. These are the three very important matters why cybersecurity matters for small businesses. Now let's get straight to the third slide. Now, in the third slide and the fourth slide, I've drafted out very important security controls that must be in place as a small business. For a small business to thrive, you must actually put these security controls in place. Now, the first one is called access control. As a small business, you must value access control over a lot of things. What is access control? I'm going to read it through, then I'm going to explain what it is for you as a small business. Now, implement stringent access controls to limit access to sensitive information and system. Now, what this means is that you must determine who has access to what information. For example, in a hotel, you have a front desk worker, you also have a laundry department, kitchen department. As a front desk worker, you must not have access to your customers' private PIN, numbers, and all of that. You must have access to what you can have access to. Okay, for example, people who work in the laundry department have access to customers' clothes and customers' washing stuffs, all right, materials. They don't have access to customers' names and customers' private information, such as the security team of that same hotel. All right, I'm using a hotel as an example. So different organizations in the hotel have different areas where they have specific access to. For example, the laundry department have access to washing clothes and, of course, making clean materials for the customers to be comfortable. They don't and they should not have access to the customers' PIN numbers, customers' financial information, and all of that. That is what access control simply means. You must streamline your business in such a way that you determine who have access to what, who have access to this, and who have access to that. Anybody who have access to his own dashboard should not have access to another person's or another department's information. Okay, each department must maintain their own personal access control. This means that you can be working in the department for laundry and you are only going to be logging in into your dashboard to see how it works. You don't log into you cannot have access to the dashboard of the reception department or the financial department or auditing or any other department of that same organization. All right. So this is what access control means. A company must determine who have access to what to make sure that employees do not have access to sensitive data. You only assign sensitive data to specific departments, not all departments. So not all departments in that business or that organization can have access to all materials. For example, the people who work at the security department, like the gates, who close the gate or open the gates or manage other aspect of the business, do not have access to the financial information of the clients. All right. So I'm sure you understand my point. What I've just said here is that specific sections of that organization must only have access to what they were employed for. If you're not employed in a certain section, you should not have access to that section at all. That is what access control means. Let's go to the next one, which is called use reliable authentication techniques. For example, in several companies, People have to log into the dashboard when they get to work. All right. Now, before you log into your dashboard, you must go through multi-factor authentication. Okay. The employees have to log in. Okay. That process should have a multi-factor authentication, which means two-level process of logging in. Even your client should have such, so that it's going to be difficult for them, for their privacy to be breached. Okay, sometimes they might be needing an OTP and all of that to make sure, okay, that they are the ones actually logging in. Okay, such as multi-factor authentication (MFA) to enhance security. Now, this is very important if you are providing a product. If you're a product-led company, okay, you have to provide multi-factor authentication for your clients and for your employees. For your clients, which means you have to give them security measures in such a way that they will be secured while making use of your app or making use of your products. Okay, they are going to be the one always logging in. For your employees, they should be also secure in such a way that they can log in into their dashboard when they come to work securely. And this is very important. All right. Now, let's get to the next point, which is maintain software operating systems and application with the latest security updates to address known vulnerability, which is called patch management. Now, the owners of a company, as a small business owner, you must be able to maintain your softwares. A lot of threat actors can get access into your companies through softwares that have not been updated for a long time. Okay, you must be checking your software versions, your operating systems, maintain them, because the older versions might have bugs or might have patches, they might have vulnerabilities, and you want to update them regularly to get into newer versions where those faults have been taken care of. Okay, so what I've just said is that you need to update your softwares, all the software you are using to run your business regularly. Always check out for updates and check out for improvements of that software. Now let's get straight to the next slide, which is in fact the fourth slide. All right. Now talk about network security. Implement intrusion detection and prevention systems to monitor and defend network traffic from attacks. Now you must implement network and intrusion detection and prevention systems. Okay. Now you must put in what they call firewalls. Okay. Firewalls prevent external threats. Okay. External threats and internal threats. Your firewalls must be in place to prevent external threat actors and internal threat actors. Like I've mentioned in the first place where I talk about access control, firewalls is also part of it. Firewalls prevent internal threats from employees working in the same organization. Okay, some employees might be bad and they decide to gain access to companies' assets. Okay, so some departments should have firewalls that protect them from other departments inside your small business. And of course, the general organization must have firewalls that protects them from external threat actors. That's what is called network security, simply to detect intrusion systems and all of that. Data backup. Now, data backup is very important because you need your data, customers' information, and everything you use in your companies to be backed up in case of a loss. Okay, a loss can occur, and when the loss occurs, you might have to rush to the backup, and of course, it's nothing actually happened. Okay, just like many companies like WhatsApp always backs up your messages, I think by 2 a.m. at night. So in case there's a loss or there's a breach or anything, you're going to get back your messages, get back your assets, get back your information, and you will resume like nothing happened. Okay, regularly back up important data to ensure recovery in case of hardware failure or cyber attacks. Now, this is simply what I've just talked about. You have to regularly back up important documents, assets, customer information, and privacy data belonging to employees, company, and the clients. Okay, there are three people you have to protect as a small business: the employees, your clients, and the company in large. All right, so you have to back up all these three different levels of assets to ensure that you can easily recover them when there is a security breach or cybersecurity attack. Now, let's go to the next slide, which is in fact the fifth slide. Who provides cybersecurity services and why? Okay, now you also have to hire people who provide cybersecurity services. All right, and these guys could work with you externally. Okay, you can hire them based on contract or anything. So they could also serve as a very important security team for you. Okay, there are a lot of companies that are specialized in providing security measures or security services for businesses. So as a small business, you want to hire this company to help you in case you can't do it by yourself. They're going to come and train you on these topics and of course tell you the things to do, and they're also going to help you protect your company. Okay. Now I'll talk about specialized. There are three set of people or three set of organizations that provide security measures for small businesses or big businesses. First one is specialized cybersecurity firms. These firms, they have in-depth knowledge of cybersecurity risk and mitigation techniques. So they're going to come and teach you about the in-depth knowledge of cybersecurity risk and mitigation techniques. They will train your employees on these topics. And of course, this is what they know how to do best. Okay. So they're going to help your firm fight against these cybersecurity attacks from internal and external threat actors. Okay. The next one is the cybersecurity consultant. They offer specialized advice tailored to each client's unique needs. Okay. And provide unbiased assessment of a company's cybersecurity posture. Now, they are also going to give you advice on what to do when there's a security breach or if you notice a security breach is about to happen. Okay. And of course, also help you prepare your company for any possible security breach. So this is exactly what the cybersecurity consultants do. You can call them, pay them, hire them, and they are going to give you specialized advice on exactly what to do. Now, the last set are the IT consultants. Many IT consultants offer cybersecurity as a part of their comprehensive IT services. Existing clients trust due to long-standing relationship. Now, cybersecurity consultants are also great guys, just like the other one we talked about, and they provide cybersecurity or IT services. Okay, and this is very important. If you combine these three levels of cybersecurity provision, you are going to do so well as a small business. You're going to do so massively well, and this is going to help you scale your small business. So, as an owner, you just have to delegate cybersecurity tasks or cybersecurity jobs to these firms, and they're going to certainly help you fix them up importantly, okay, very fast. Now, what are the effective cybersecurity practices for small businesses? Now we are on the last slide, and this is the one of the most important slides here, okay? And this slide is going to help you thoroughly as a small business owner. Effective cybersecurity practices for small businesses. Now, the first one is employee training. Now, as a small business, you must regularly train your employees. Regularly educate staffs on cybersecurity awareness, social engineering, phishing, and secure password practices. You must take your staffs through these trainings regularly. It could be every 3 months, every 4 months, every 5 months, or every 6 months. These trainings are very important because many employees do not have comprehensive knowledge of cybersecurity attacks. So you can use the consultant services to teach your employees how to go about these practices, how to learn about phishing attacks, how to be aware, how to know funny emails, how to know funny attacks, how to spot denial of service attack, and all of that. So there are several attacks that your employees need to have at their fingertips, so they will be able to do certain things when this attack occurs. Now, you just the first aid department in a hospital or in an organization, whenever there's a first aid urgency, somebody has an urgent medical treatment, there is always going to be somebody who can administer help temporarily before it is escalated to bigger teams that can actually handle it. So when there's an unexpected attack in your organization or your small business, your employees should be able to manage the risk first before it is escalated to a bigger team, so that it doesn't become something serious, or the loss doesn't become too severe, or the loss is even completely eradicated. So this is the first effective cybersecurity practice for a small business owner. Okay, you must actually train your employees regularly. You determine how often you want to do this training for them. The next one is network security. You must install reliable firewalls, employ intrusion detection systems, and filter incoming and outgoing data. You must buy equipment. Of course, this is also why if you can't do these things, you have to hire the cybersecurity services, which we talk about on the former slide. You have to hire them so they can help you with all of these processes. This one is very important because it is a must do for every small business. You must have network security, and if you have no idea, you just have to employ cybersecurity teams or consultants or teams to help you do these parts. All right, it's very important as all other slides. Data backup, we talked about data backup formally. Data backup, critical data offsite and test the reliability of backup to disaster recovery plan. Now, this is a disaster recovery plan, which means that you must back up customer data, company's data, and employees' data in an offsite network, maybe in a cloud network or in a cloud storage out of the company, out of the organization. So in case there's a disaster or an attack, you can simply recover all customer data information, bank account statements, and resume work operations immediately. Okay, if you avoid backing up this data, it might be severe because you can lose all of your assets, customer information, customer names and dates, and all of that, login details, and many of them will be lost. Okay, so backing up customer data is very important in cybersecurity practice, and this is actually very important here. Now, the last one we'll be talking about as the best cybersecurity practice for small businesses is the multi-factor authentication. We've talked about this previously. Okay, now you must enhance security by requiring multiple forms of authentication for private systems and accounts. Now, like I've mentioned before, each small business have specific departments. You might have the accounting department, you can have the security department, you can have the auditing department, you can have the receptionist department, and many other departments. All these departments has to log into their personalized dashboard when they come to work. If you work in the accounting department, you must not be allowed to access all the dashboard of other departments. All right. So there is also part of access control. You must only have access to your specialized area of your specialized area, which means your department. There is no form or area where you can have access to other employees' dashboard or to see informations in other departments. It is going to issue, you have to curtail this. Now, also, when employees are logging into their dashboard, they also need to have multi-factor authentication, which means they have to be verified in a 2-level or 3-level phase, just like submitting getting OTPs and making sure they're the ones logging in, so that the login attempt can be verified and the login. This is also very important for your clients. Your clients must also have specialized multi-factor authentication system where they can log in easily anytime in a 2-level process or a 3-level process to make sure that they are the ones logging in and there is no external person logging into their accounts. So guys, this will be the end of my session, and I'm sure you got good values from it. Okay, I'm so happy to have contributed to this talk and to this session, and I'm so happy to be part of this team, and of course to the progress of this huge movement. Do have a very wonderful day, guys, and of course I'll see you on another one.